Race 5 at Ascot, it's Australia. Race number 10 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1,800 metres. And a really interesting race here. The winning form lines of King of Woo stepping up in distance. We see Corella stepping back after just trailing. Same with Let's Go Lakers. And I thought Fitzrovia as well, another one in really good form.
Yeah, there's a couple for me. Corella and Ripperio are the ones that are on the up, I feel, out of this race. We'll have a look at the replay of last start. Winner, though, number 1, King of Woo.
Woo led them for home over Star Bay. Wins a moment's a length and a half away. Ripperio commencing its run. So's the Flirt down the outside. Futurism Drooper weaving its way through. It's King of Woo at the 150 from Star Bay. Ripperio coming. King of Woo still the leader from Star Bay. Ripperio, it's King of Woo holding them all at bay. All the way for King of Woo.
Strong performance by King of Woo. It was a really good ride by Clint Johnson-Porter on that occasion. He decided to dictate terms, was able to slow them up and then just kicked away at the top of the straight. The biggest question mark for mine is the 1,800 metres here. It hasn't won further than 1,500, and for mine, the horse wasn't really asking to go further. I thought the 14-15 was ideal. So, although a really good performance there, I think up in weights and up in distance might just see King of Woo struggle.
It does, however, come into a race with a lack of speed. I think it might be able to get it easy, and as you mentioned, that extra 300 metres is a big difference, but if it gets it easy enough out in front, who knows, could give a really good sight. We've also got number 3, Corella, as I mentioned. I really like this horse. I'm a big fan. The only thing that's turned me off this start is the 58 kilos.
Yeah, you're a big fan, as we mentioned, but this is one that takes the money out of the pockets, and we mentioned that last start as well, and again, it was another second. It was a good performance, but seconds don't put the cash in the pocket as well. So going down by a nose on that occasion, I'm with you. There's not a lot of speed in this race, but I think it just maps out perfectly. Corella should just be able to sit out in the second wide line. William Pipe pulls around. I think the turn of foot's too good. I found this horse very hard to go past in this race.
We've also got number 9, Ripperio, who probably should have won last start. Did a few things wrong in the run there behind, who was it that day? King of Woo. It was King of Woo. I think can run a really big race here.
Yeah, like Corella probably one of those ones that has been a beaten favourite on more occasion than once and has hurt punters. Last start jumped at 350, the start before a winner at 155, and the start before that beaten it as $2 favourite as well. So you can't be too confident with this horse, but I like the way it's going about it. Love the way the stable's going as well. And I think the step up in distance will actually really suit Ripperio, attacking the line strongly. We'll take a look at the selections. I'm going to go with number 3, Corella from 7, Fitzrovia, 10, Sir Dandy, and 9, Ripperio.
Number 9 for me, Adam. Ripperio on top of 3, Corella 7, Fitzrovia, and 8, Matty's Choice.
Race number 6 at Ascot, it's Australia. Race number 12 for our Singapore viewers. Now, we've talked about different form lines leading to a race. We're going to have anything more different here. Horses come out of the Oaks, the WA Cup, listed races as well, all come together for one. It'll be very interesting to see how this maps out.
The Geraldton Gold Cup as well. As you mentioned, mapping out though as well, Adam, the speed should be very interesting. We'll go back first and have a look at the replay of First Impressions winning the WA Oaks last start.
And she put paid to Calvin, 2 lengths to Dreamtime Dancer. First Impressions is getting away from the inside to lay down the gauntlet. He has to go to work on Arcadia Dream. On the outside, the stablemate First Impressions. Calvin is battling back, but First Impressions reaches the lead. It got the better of Arcadia Dream, and the second string runner comes away. First Impressions beat Arcadia.
Really good performance by her, wasn't it? The way that she attacked the line, the turn of foot as well, and she was probably at one stage, I think a few people would have had her in front of Arcadia Dream, which ended up coming out and winning the Derby. Whether she beats Arcadia Dream, we'll never know, but certainly had the credentials there. There's a few concerns for mine in this race. Dropping back to the 1,800 metres, although I think she's still good enough to win the race, but the bar plate's on. Still, I'm a little bit nervous and worried how much damage there was to that foot from the reason why they were scratched from the Derby.
Anytime you've got a horse coming back to the races after a setback where their goal wasn't achieved and they come back to a consolation, it's always a worry, Adam, and that's why I don't have her on top today. But we've also got in the race, we've got Kirov Boy and Badamajo who come out of the West Australian Cup. Now, I think these two will be rolling forward and they'll be setting the pace because they just don't have any speed in their legs. They'll be trying to grind out a one-pace win.
Well, there's only one way that these two go, and that is out in front. The one thing I will, and it was only when doing this form that it came back to my memory, was that last year after the WA Cup, it took a long time for any of those horses to win a race again. That 3,200 metres took so much out of them. So backing up the next week, I've got some real concerns here for Badamajo and also Kirov Boy. Kirov Boy, I'm not as worried about. It carries the weight. It loves just going around. But Badamajo, a mare, carrying the 58 kilos after that backup as well. I think this race may actually just find them out.
Yeah, we've also got a couple of others in here, Adam. Number 3, Northridge, who Was good in stepping back in grade and distance last start and winning well when it sat outside the leader.
Northridge is going to be really hard to beat in this race again. Carries only the 55 kilos with the claim to Randy Town. As we mentioned, that little setback when beaten 3 lengths just didn't suit. We said last time on Box Seat to put a line through it and went back to that winning form as well. So really, for -1.3 if it's past 4, if you take a line out of that and the other races come second, the form lines are good enough here and it can certainly win the race. We'll take a look at the selections. I'm going to go with number 4, Outlaw Pete, though, from number 3, Northridge, 6 First Impressions and 5 Sujet.
Northridge on top for me, Adam. 3 on top of 4. Outlaw Pete, 6 First Impressions and 2 the Damajo.
Race number 7 at Ascot, it's Australia. Race number 14 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1,400 metres. And for mine, this is the best race of the day when you look at how tight it's going to be. There's some natural leaders in it. There's horses that want the speed as well to be running on it. So everybody gets what they want.
As you mentioned, Adam, I've got this race as having a good tempo, a good solid tempo up front. And there are a couple key form lines behind Cool Passion and King of Woo. We'll jump into the replay, though, of number 3, Unbridled Spirit, winning at Pinjarra last start.
Brucey Bonus going up to join it. Then White House Boy back behind them, trying to side its way through the director. Spy Scandal headed Singing Skies. Nicotrice got an inside run and Capanda joined them both. Dana Blue still sticks on. Unbridled Spirit is starting to dig in hard down the outside as Dana Blue reaches the lead. Unbridled Spirit, though, is gobbling it up with Nicotrice on the rail, and Unbridled Spirit wins again.
Strong performance there by Unbridled Spirit. Just doing enough this campaign, 2 from 2, running on strongly. I spoke to Chris Gangemi after the race and he said this horse is actually quite lazy, so might just be doing enough. Step up in class, we'll have to see how he goes, but I like the way he's been attacking the line.
I do like the way winners win, and it could be one of those racetrack horses that get to the races and just perform really well. Number 4, Den D, in super form, took the step up to Saturday class really well when was keen and probably should have finished a bit closer behind Cool Passion.
Yeah, she's been racing so well. As you mentioned, she was keen throughout the early stages of the run, then got held up badly, but still had the audacity to flash home late. That's what I like with this mare as well. You go back to that Pearl Classic at Pinjarra, she was checked numerous times and still ran on to the 4th as well, so she doesn't need the perfect run to run a race, and I really like that about her. The stable's flying as well. I think there's enough speed in this race that she'll be able to flash home late from the outside.
Adam, number 6, Liberty Rise. I know you're pretty keen on her, and she's got a really good first up record.
Her form lines are stronger than any horse in this race by a long way as well. You take a look at that first up record, 3 attempts for 2 victories and a second. She carries weight as well. There's no concern about that. The 57 kilos. Good track and distance record as well. 4 attempts for 2 victories. I like the trial. Just sat there quietly, did enough. I think Liberty Rise can certainly run a race here. We'll take a look at the selections. I'm going to tip number 4, Dendy, from 6, Liberty Rise, 5, the Director, and 9, Dangerous Game.
I've got the 4 on top, Dendy, of 11, Express Boy, number 3, Unbridled Spirit, and 7, Drooper.
Race number 8 is Australia, race number 16 for our Singapore viewers, and I'm really looking forward to this race. I think there's a bit of class in this. We know War Prince has been racing well. King of the Palace has returned back to some of its better form. Man Booker, I think we'll certainly see improvement for that first up performance, and then even horses like Conjob, Palace Intruder, the list goes on. A very open way to finish.
A good race to finish the card off with. A nice little novelty as well. We've got brothers racing in the race, which doesn't usually happen. King of the Palace and Palace Intruder. But we'll jump into the replay horse, which is King of the Palace.
Inside, Cranky Dancer led them in the straight in the Batavia. It's Cranky Dancer at the 250. King of the Palace, though, quickly looming alongside. Parnham went for home. He hit the trigger. King of the Palace went to Cranky Dancer, headed him off. 3 lengths away, Mickey Two Toes. He's got the whip on the leader, King of the Palace, but he'll reign supreme in the Batavia. King of the Palace home from Cranky.
Hasn't this horse just turned around his form? Hadn't won, it was 300 or 400 days. Then all of a sudden now it's won 3 of its last 4, and one of them a Batavia sprint as well. And it won that with ease, winning by a length. It was a brilliant ride by Brad Parnham on that occasion. Jordan Turner takes the ride back after riding at this campaign as well. And from what we've seen, King of the Palace, as we mentioned a little bit earlier in the program, winning form is good form. I'm not sure with the weight if this horse can match up, but you just don't take on a horse with confidence.
No, absolutely. It was awesome in the Batavia. I thought that was a really good run, and as mentioned, winning 20-1. We've also got number 3, Man Booker, who was 3 wide last start, and was ready to go. I thought it would have won with a nice trip, but gets its chance here today.
Yeah, some things just didn't go the way they wanted, did they? They went in without the trial, and then when you're caught 3 wide on a day like that, you're never going to win the race. There's a couple of concerns here, staying with the 58.5 kilos, and you see a horse like War Prince, which actually beat at home, gets it 1.5 kilos better now because they've decided to go with the claim as well. But Man Booker's all class, there's no doubt about that. Of course, the winner of the Group 2 Guineas, sixth in the Group 1 Kingston Town. A lot of class here. I expect a big improvement.
Yeah, giving these older horses weight too is also a concern, Adam. Right down the bottom there, another 3-year-old, Senso. Now, they've taken the blinkers off this horse. It went back to the trials after knocking up behind War Prince. Now, they rode it cold with Waterman's Bay, and it and Waterman's Bay went to the line well. Now, I know this is a trial, but still, you've got to take a line out of that. They're taking the blinkers off. They will go back with this horse and be running on strongly.
Yeah, they've tried this before a few times, and we have seen that improvement as well in the runner. Look, Senso, when fully ready to go, is a really good galloper. We've seen that, of course, in the 3-year-old season as well. I've still got my concerns, though. He hasn't won for the 252 days. Just the difference between a good and a bad performance with this horse is massive. If we see a run like we did the other day behind King of the Palace, well, the horse can come out and win. There's no doubt about that. The trial was really good, as you mentioned, but just one that you can't be too confident when tipping. But as you said, the form line around Waterman's Bay trial, although only being a trial, was good enough to be confident going into the race. We'll take a look at the selections. I'm going to go with number 7, Conjob, at each way odds here. From 1, War Prince, 3, Man Booker, and 9, Prophet Street.
I'm going with the 3-year-old with the lightweight, Adam. Number 10, Senso. From 2, King of the Palace, 3, Man Booker, and 4, Petrol Power.
Well, it's time now to take a look at the best bets of the card, and I'm focusing on the number 3s. Race 2, number 3, Ros Martini, and race 5, number 3, Corelliback.
I've got race 2, number 4, Pix Pride, and race 3, number 8, Star Exhibit.
Now, as we said, it is the last day at Ascot for the season, so make sure you do go to the website perthracing.com.au for all of the event information as we do head to Belmont Park. Follow us on social media as per usual. On behalf of both of us, hopefully found you a couple of winners. We'll be back again taking a look at Belmont Park next week.